What's up, everybody? It is I, the podcast chancellor, Kayla Betterton, and today I have two very special guests. They have done a lot for my life personally. They were my premarital counselors, and I'm still married, so y'all did a great job.
Great.
But they are also the hosts of the Marriage Momentum podcast, and we have Sister Kayla, if you want to explain who you are.
Hey, I'm Kayla. I am a mom of three. Love outdoors. My favorite drink is coffee. Could drink it all day.
I'm with that.
And I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. We also have her husband, Tommy, as well.
Yeah, so Tommy Barrage, I love the outdoors as well, so that was part of compatibility.
There you go.
Together.
There you go.
Love the mountains, absolutely love the mountains. Texan by birth, Okie by the grace of God. So here we are, and yeah, I would have to say my favorite drink's probably coffee too. Just love
three coffee lovers here. Might have a whole sidebar on that in a minute. We'll see. But
yeah, we can talk coffee if we want
for
to.
real, I mean, coffee's great. I mean, I am not a coffee snob, but I am particular. You know,
We are.
Yeah.
We're coffee snobs. Yeah.
What's your favorite coffee place?
It changes because I like to go to coffee shops and actually study too. So I kind of put that into
Okay.
the category
So
of
the vibe too.
as well.
Has to
That
be
matters to me because I like to go and study there and kind of have the vibe of it.
Yeah.
You know, so
Makes sense.
it's changed over the years. There's a place called the Underground. Their coffee's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's elite, but it's good. But they have a great study space there. It's very big, very open.
Yeah.
They have study rooms when you study rooms, so that kind of plays a part into my
Decision. To
yes.
do it.
I used to work for a coffee shop called the Simple Brew. I like their coffee a lot. I love their cold brew the best. I feel like it's one of the better cold brews I've had. It's very smooth. A lot of cold brew is bitter. I don't like the bitter cold brew. I like more of a smooth cold brew. And theirs was. And I helped roast coffee there for a while, so I'm a little biased on that. But I really, honestly, it's not a place, but, and this is kind of horrible because it's not natural, but I love Nespresso. I don't know why. It's just the machines. They work so
Nespresso?
well. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yes.
what we drink.
It works so well. It's like
it's
perfect
good
every
coffee.
time.
I mean, Keurig is definitely not natural.
Well, I was going to ask, if you say you like Keurig coffee, I was just going to get up and walk out.
I will tolerate it, if I have to. If it's whatever's there, any caffeine. But I have an espresso machine that was a wedding gift, and it has been used by me very, very much. One of the best
Whoever
gifts
bought
I got.
that for you,
Shout out
kudos
to
to
Brother
them.
Justin Tripp. He,
Oh, man.
man.
Hand clap for that
Yeah,
guy. What a wedding gift.
Keep them in your life.
yes, he blessed me tremendously with that. And so, what's y'all's favorite place to go to? Or,
Summer Moon is mine right now.
Yeah.
We
yeah, it's
just
good. I've had
started.
that. It's good. It's good. Their coffee's
That
really
oak
good.
roasted coffee. Now, you have to mortgage your house to buy the coffee. It's so expensive.
They add on everything.
Now, I will say, this is probably the best cup of coffee that I've ever had was in California, and still to this day we talk
Yeah.
about it. About how we could
good.
figure out a way to open that
Well,
specific coffee
that's
shop.
interesting because Dutch Bros is from California originally. Now,
I do
when
love
they,
Dutch Bros.
I'm not a big fan now, but when they first came down here originally, and all the guys from California and Seattle training the people to do it,
Okay.
when they first went up and all the trainers here, it was like, I was like, this
Really
is the
good.
best coffee I've ever had.
Okay.
Then they left and the Okies stepped in and
Yeah.
it's good.
still
It's just
like
not,
it.
it's
Yeah.
not, but when I
Yeah.
first had it, it was like, okay, they know what they're doing. Like
That's funny.
they know what they're doing, but
California knows coffee, I
they
guess.
do, Seattle, Starbucks, all that place.
That makes sense. Yeah, the West Coast.
But today's topic isn't coffee, unfortunately.
I mean,
we could do
went-
that.
we
but,
could go for it for a long
you know,
time.
might alienate some of the listeners today. But today's topic is
I'm
not
sorry.
marriage.
I do have one more question for
Okay,
you, for your
all right.
podcast listeners. So the last podcast, you gave an update about your neighbor, or
Or lack
lack
of
thereof.
yeah, we'll see.
And what happened, or have you got any more news?
So for those who haven't heard the last episode, listen to it now. It's called The Next Door Mystery on YouTube. You can check it out. But so we had this next door neighbor, allegedly, who was apparently living there, but we never heard anybody next door in our apartment. Never. Since we've been married. Maybe once or twice early on, but it's been like months since we've been married. For a long time, no one there. For a while, there was a package out front that was there, didn't get picked up for like months, did disappear one day. Well, now there's been like eviction notices, like sheriff, we're going to evict you, all that stuff. But again, we haven't heard anybody there for like close to a year. Like longer than most eviction notices you would think, because you think they're not paying for it, they would have stopped
Yeah.
a long time ago if they're not living there.
yeah.
But if it's like now all of a sudden, when we haven't heard anybody living there for the past,
Year.
and so, and all of a sudden they're getting evicted when there's no one to evict. It's like, maybe someone died in there. I don't know. That was the rumor I spread last
The
episode.
rumor you spread.
And
Well, it wasn't just someone died. You threw out a lot of
I did.
different
And-
options
and at
that were
this point,
possible.
they could all
It had
still-
me intrigued.
It could all still be true because
That's true. Yeah.
I have seen a different lock on the door now. I think the sheriff came in and put their lock on the door.
Wow.
Okay.
So maybe not be a dead body unless they're covering it up for some reason. It's always
That's
possible.
true.
You never know. They cover a lot of stuff up nowadays when it comes
Sheriff.
to
Yeah, they may be in on it.
things. You know, you never know. Not throwing any shade at the Oklahoma City Police Department. Do not come. If I disappear, no, I am of sound mind and sound
It's
body.
kind of dark.
And but I'll keep you updated. So far, no news.
Yeah, I won't
They,
do that.
they haven't gone in and cleaned it out yet. So it's still all this stuff's on the door. So they're
not
still
in a
waiting
hurry.
on stuff, I
Yeah.
guess. So
No, red tape.
nothing's changed as far as the outside. Which,
I think you should hook up a live camera
yes,
facing the door.
I'm sure my
and
landlord would
stream
love
it.
that.
Yeah.
But get a ring doorbell that looks like a ring doorbell upon the neighbor's door.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. So I'll keep you updated on that. But so far, no dead bodies, but also no bodies at all. So
There we go.
you never know. But today's episode is on not marriage, but dating. And so dating is something that can be fun, can be scary, can be heartbreaking, can be a lot of different things. And today we want to give some clarity, a deep dive on dating. We're going to try to go through dating to being engaged. We'll see if we get that far today. But starting off, give us an overview. What is dating? What should dating look like?
Man, what a
So
question, straight in there.
question. Yeah.
I would say it's the pursuit of getting to know somebody in a more. I mean, I don't use the word intimate to what we would say intimacy, but intimate is just getting to know them in a deeper level.
For sure.
And so by then, I think you need to have a lot of wisdom on how to navigate that, but just clarity that you want to pursue somebody, not forsaking all others for the rest of your life,
not
but
marriage
just the
yet.
commitment,
Yeah.
the commitment of this is the person, and I will not be texting 100 different people or
That's good.
There's
wondering
some
eyes.
lines drawn.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, some boundaries. there,
Minimal
yes,
lines,
yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there is commitment to it. Yeah, dating does have commitment behind it, but as you said, it's not married.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not for life.
So I guess kind of on that line, what does that look like? What does not married but boundaries look
Sure.
like?
So, man, okay.
Not necessarily physical boundaries, but just in general, what are the lines that should be
Yeah,
for
no,
commitment?
for
What does
sure.
commitment look like in a dating relationship?
So to wrap that in a full package, and so I read a book a long time ago. Sorry, I've got my
Process
mind's
this.
yeah, my mind's going 90 to nothing. So I read a book a long time ago. The book's called Ask It.
Okay.
And the whole premise is you ask the question, not is this right or wrong? You ask the question, is this wise? And some hyphen at Calvary will remember us doing a whole thing on it at the hyphen retreat. But really, letting wisdom be your guide
Yeah.
allows you to set very healthy boundaries that will keep you. I mean, the whole book of Proverbs is written around
For sure.
use wisdom and you won't die, you won't be destitute, you won't, all of these things as long as wisdom's your guide. And so with the boundaries, wisdom has to be the driving force behind any boundary that you make.
Yeah.
And you're 100% accurate when you said it, because usually when we think boundaries or when somebody talks about boundaries, especially in a relationship, really the only thing that comes to my mind initially is the physical boundary. Well, don't hold hands. But we all know that you can cross some major emotional boundaries.
For sure.
Far before you ever cross
Yes.
physical boundaries. And so what do those boundaries look like? She mentioned dating, what is dating? It's getting to know somebody in a deeper way and pursuing after them. Not necessarily forsaking all others, but being committed
Forsaking
to them.
some.
Forsaking some.
Yes, yes.
But setting those boundaries of knowing there are lines that you won't cross.
Yeah.
For sure. There are things that you will talk about in dating that you won't talk about to just your casual friend.
Yeah.
Being a little more vulnerable. But there are still some conversations that will not be crossed.
For sure.
Because those are it's throwing
and
wisdom.
to the last marriage counseling session, and then That's when those conversations don't start. But you start
Yeah,
thinking about these
absolutely.
conversations.
Yeah, it comes with a book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just getting to know somebody, having fun. Like it should be an exciting, fun time. And it can be in a group setting. It can be just talking on the phone. Whatever it looks like for you, whatever boundaries that you need to place. That depends on a wide variety of things. Your age, your circumstance in life. Are you ready to do you have insurance and are you ready to provide for a family? That will depend on how close you need to be getting to somebody truly.
That's
Sure.
very true.
But I think it's nothing to be scared of. Like it should just be getting to know somebody, and you don't have to have this if I start pursuing this person, I have to be only committed to them for the rest of my life. Like it shouldn't be this fear of failure. It should just be I'm already attracted to them. I know that we're, just being in group settings, I know that they are, interested in the things I'm interested in. Like we both like to read, or we have something in common that draws us together. It just should be it shouldn't be something scary. It should be something that you're just excited to pursue this person.
Yeah, it's really good.
So how do you keep? Okay, when it comes to dating, there's a lot of advice out there on dating from great people who have great intentions, but sometimes, when I graduated high school, for example, everybody had advice on what I should do with my life when I graduated high school.
Yeah.
All of them great people, well-meaning people, all of them had probably good advice, but not all that advice was what I needed to hear. And sometimes when you're overwhelmed with advice, all good advice, but sometimes it's contradictory advice. Go to high school, some people say go to college. Some said, "Don't go to college. You don't need college."
Yeah, yeah,
Well, okay,
that's true.
and both people were great people. Both people
Yeah.
were successful people. Both people had
You're gonna get
achieved great things.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And I think dating
Yeah.
can kind of fall into that same realm.
For
So how do you
sure.
navigate advice when it comes to, or opinions, or things that could cause dating to become stressful, become scary, become something
Yes.
that is
Yeah.
not or shouldn't be? How do you guard from that while also receiving good advice and filtering through good suggestions, good direction? How do you figure out who those people are? How do you figure out what that advice should be?
That's good.
makes sense.
That is really good. Advice is one of those things that you will receive the rest of your
Yes.
life,
Mm-hmm.
whether you ask for it or not. People are going to give you their opinion. They're going to give you advice on it, and it's like the age-old saying of oh, when are you finally going to date them? And you start dating. When are you getting married? Then you get married. When are you having kids? It just is constant questions, and then you have all of that advice around it. You brought up even down to graduating high school. Where do you go? And so I want to ask you a question. How did you navigate that? What was one of the things that you kind of filtered out? Okay, is this even good advice that I want to listen to?
If I'm honest, I don't think I did very well.
Okay. Sure.
Okay, that's fair.
For a while.
Yeah.
I think it was a learning process.
Yeah.
And honestly, what I think helped me out the most, and I don't know if this is good advice for dating, so you might not like this analogy, I don't know, was and I guess it is in some sense, is realizing what I don't like helped out a lot. Because I didn't really know what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Or what I wanted to pursue when it
Yeah.
came to that. I didn't really know, is college good or bad? I went to college because it was free. So it's like, it's an open door.
Well,
I'm
yeah, what do you
going to
get?
the open
Yeah,
door,
yes.
But even then I was still like, should I still do this?
Right.
Even in college I changed my major because I was like, I really don't know what I do, but I kind of figure out, okay, I don't like what I'm doing now. So I'm going to do something different.
Okay. So you're hitting on a very key point. So I think high level, one of the easy things that you can do to filter out, good advice, bad advice, what do I listen to? Fruit doesn't lie.
Mm-hmm.
So advice coming from somebody that you're kind of able to evaluate what's the source of this advice.
Sure.
That can filter out some things.
Yeah.
I'm
Do I
sure.
want to be like them?
Right.
Do I want my marriage to be like them? Do I want my career to be like them? Do I want, asking the questions is this even somebody that's worth getting
Right.
advice from?
Yeah. And then that's the other aspect to it is are they where I want to be?
Yeah.
Are they somebody pursuing the things that I want to pursue? And even beyond that, the fruit aspect of it, you hit on one of the key points that a lot of people don't think about. You have kids, you get tons of advice, and what do you do with it? Sometimes you put it in place because it sounds good and you see it worked with them,
Yeah.
and then guess what? It didn't work for you.
Yeah.
And so what do? Well, you just you found a closed door. Well, that doesn't work here. Well, let's try this. And not saying that you date 900 people and then you're like,
not
okay,
at
well,
all.
that didn't work.
Maybe
But-
in one relationship, you both say, "Hey, let's try this part of dating. Let's try the advice
Right.
here or there. Maybe I don't know."
Well, but then that though even goes back to the boundaries and comes back to the advice of it too. Of you can explore options and get to know people in a way where you're not emotionally deeply
yes.
connecting to them
Yes,
as well.
absolutely.
And I think that's the other thing too about the misconception around dating
Yes.
is as soon as you see somebody you're attracted to, you think, okay, I've got to become emotionally connected to them. And then if we have to call it quits because, oh man, I don't like the way that he talks to me, or I don't like the way her breath smells, or whatever the case is. It can be so many things, but now you're so emotionally involved.
Yeah.
And you haven't even crossed any physical lines, but you've talked 3 hours a day on the phone, and that's going to connect a human being together.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, so some of the advice can be taken as you are setting up those wise boundaries and getting to know somebody. I mean, that's one of the things that I think you just previously touched on it, was getting to know somebody kind of in a group setting.
Yeah.
You can find out whether you like the way he talks to somebody or not, or whether you don't like her perfume, or I don't know. I'm making very superficial
sure.
things, but these are things that you can be picky about at the beginning.
Good.
I think there's a misconception, and like I said, it should be fun. It should not be so. I used the word intimate earlier. Now I'm like, man, I shouldn't have said that. It shouldn't be so intimate that you have a lot of regrets. The more bonding moments that you have with somebody, the more baggage you're going to carry if it doesn't work out. So having those boundaries of just how are we going to connect? What are we going to do when we're together? Like, sure, the physical is very important to have those set boundaries, but the emotional is so much important too, because you will bring baggage if you don't work out, if you have crossed those certain boundaries. And so your question though, I think the other thing that you should have such a close relationship with some kind of good, solid Christian, godly, not just Christian, forget the word Christian, yet Christ-like would be great. But like, we throw that word Christian around very loosely. A godly mentor.
Godly, yeah.
You're a pastor, somebody you super trust, somebody that really has the best interest in mind for you, somebody that has invested in you long before you even wanted to pursue this other person. And they'll let you know. And I really strongly believe, especially, this is not the case maybe for everybody, but God will definitely, if you pray about it, God will definitely speak to your pastor, and he will have a good feeling or a bad feeling. And if you have that connection already with your pastor, you're going to be able to accept his advice.
Yes, yeah.
So kind of on that, how important of a role should your pastor play in your dating life?
Huge. What's bigger than huge?
Ignore
It's
that.
very
Gigantic,
necessary.
yeah,
Very
it's necessary.
necessary.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's the right word. It is very necessary. Not only is Scripture talks about it, wisdom is found in a multitude of counsel. Except your pastor is your shepherd. Yeah. He is the overseer. He's there to guide you, and he has a godly, objective viewpoint of your life. He really just wants the best for you, and we are very blessed at Calvary.
Absolutely.
To have such a Spirit-led, godly pastor, a bishop, and they really are just there for the betterment of
100%.
you, to really guide you and to see you win.
And to answer your earlier question, I think that's probably what in high school transition, even in dating for me personally to marriage, having my pastor's voice in my life when there was a lot of confusion, when there was a lot of chaos, there was a lot of, I'm getting 1,000 different things thrown at me that all sound good. All of them sound good. He was the voice of reason, the voice of saying, all right, here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
Or, hey, and in fact, there was a moment in dating where it's just, it's dating. We're getting closer. We're aiming towards marriage. We're at that point where we know we're headed this direction. Things were happening. There's different stuff going on. And I did a pastor about something. And pastor, before I said a word, he's like, what was happening? What was going on? And totally said, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. And it was done. And there was peace there. And I prayed, God, I didn't know what to do. I was like, God, I don't know what to do right now.
Yeah.
And I felt like the pastor. And as soon as I did, it changed
Yes.
everything. And in your pastor's voice in your life, from dating to life to whatever, is such a key thing, because
is,
if
yeah.
you run away from that voice, where are you going?
Yeah.
Right.
If he is your shepherd, if he is there to guide you, what are you doing? You have no guidance no more.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're running away from guidance at that point.
Yeah.
And you're going to get advised by the wolves potentially, or other sheep who, and everyone knows sheep aren't the smartest animals. And so they have good intentions, but they're still sheep,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
And so, yes, your pastor's voice is it's changed my life multiple times in my
Yes.
life.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the other thing for sure is being able to discern the will of God for your own life. And yes, sometimes you're going to need those voices to come in and step in.
Yeah.
But I want to read, or could you read it? Proverbs 2:10, because we were thinking about just this whole topic, and I think this covers so much so well.
Yeah, so 2:10 through 11 in the ESV. For wisdom will come into your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Discretion will watch over you, and understanding will guard you. So if you allow wisdom to come into your heart, knowledge is going to be pleasant to your soul. All of us want something pleasant, especially to the depths of our soul. But that part of it, discretion will watch over you.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times that discretion, yes, will look like the guiding force of your pastor, but when you are having that intimate relationship with God, when you're hearing the voice of God, there was something when we were, we were young, had been married less than a year probably. I remember we were discerning the will of God. We were trying to figure out where to land, where to go, where to move to, all of these things. Sure. And I remember we sat down with the pastor, and they were wanting us to come there, and we knew it wasn't the will of God. We felt it.
Yeah.
And he was sitting there, and it was awkward for us because we didn't know what to do because we knew it wasn't right.
We still had a whole weekend.
We had a whole
ahead of us,
weekend that we had to spend with them.
Yeah.
And I remember he had asked a very pointed question. I didn't know how to answer it, so I did the most awkward thing you could do, and I just didn't answer it. And so that was very, very awkward. But finally, I remember sitting in In-N-Out Burger with him. He was sitting across from us, and he looks at us and he goes, "You know, the will of God's not rocket science." And I have held on to that. He didn't know that he just talked us out of not moving to his church. Yeah. But because I wrestled with it, it all seemed, it should have been right.
Yeah.
But there just wasn't something right about it. It wasn't the will of God.
Well, what Caleb said, he said his pastor brought a lot of peace to his situation. Yeah, God brings a lot of peace, whatever the will of God is. And we can talk about the will of God later in the dating scene, what that looks like. But it will always bring peace. The advice, you follow the peace.
You know, we've kind of discussed dating as a whole, what it looks like, what it's about, things you need to do while dating, having fun while dating. But how do you know they're the one you should date? You've been on the group, you hang out in the groups, you got to know them, you kind of realize, hey, I like this person, but now that commitment comes in. It's not the full commitment, but now it's that next line of commitment. Yeah. How do you know, without having fear, without letting different thoughts come in, no, okay, I like this person, but I don't want to ruin this by taking the next step, or whatever other thoughts come to mind. How do you know this is the person and I'm ready to date?
Yeah. Well, it does bring, we will never be just friends again. It will be awkward from here on out if it does not work out.
Yeah. Oh, man. There's so much to that, too. Sorry, I'm doing the whole quiet thinking thing.
You know? Bringing the hard questions today.
You know, it's such a good question. How do you know that they're the one? Well, okay. So obviously there was some kind of attraction.
For sure.
There, you know, I think any reasonable person, if you ask them, were you attracted to them from the very beginning? You'd be like, yeah. You know, there was something about them.
Usually one of them knows, I was going to marry her as soon as I saw her.
Yeah. And there is some kind of excitement when they come around or whatever it is. You know, there is something a little more. One thing that I want to note to this, because I have heard people say this, and it's important to say. Because I've heard people, well, I don't want to start dating them and ruin a good friendship. Yeah. Newsflash, if a guy and a girl are really good friends, at least one person has feelings deeper than friends.
Yes.
It just is what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
It's part of it. So then from there, okay, you don't need to worry about that. Truly. So then it comes down to, okay, so now you break it down a little bit more. You got to know them. Their breath doesn't stink. You're attracted to them, whatever the case is. And so then you can start looking at some other things, honestly. Okay, is there anything about what about their family? How does, he or she react in this situation? Now you start looking really in the deeper character of the person. And now obviously character shows forth. And don't fish in sewers and expect to catch a prized fish.
For sure.
That's a good dating advice.
One thing I said recently, it says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing. Don't chase just anything.
Yes.
Right.
Chase a good thing. And girls, ladies,
That's good.
watch who he's chasing.
Yes.
He's chasing everything. When
Yes.
he chases you, don't get caught up in that because he's chasing
100%.
everything.
That's so good.
Yeah, that is
well, and I
really
think that's one of the things, like summing up what you were saying, like, are you moving in the same direction?
Yeah.
Because that is so important. But also, are they going to, back to is it the wise thing? Are they moving you forward closer to God? Or is it going to be a distraction? Like, are you going to have to give up integrity? Are you going to have to give up good character? Are you going to have to, there's so many things. Go ahead.
Can I ask you some more on
Yes.
this, actually?
Okay.
Because I've known some things, and I've seen different things happen recently when it comes to distractions. Of course,
Okay.
we went to the extreme things first, but what are some other distractions that maybe not seem like a big deal, but can become a big deal, if that makes sense? Because I think dating in itself is going to distract you from some things.
Sure.
So what are some good distractions, I guess, versus some, these are,
Negative, yeah.
or some normal distractions versus some, these are beyond what's normal or usual or right, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Any distraction that whittles away at your morality is obviously not a good distraction.
For sure.
I think possessiveness of your time, possessiveness in general, is always going to result in just a negative. Just negative.
No, yeah, for sure. And man, the attacking character, going at somebody for any kind of harm. Okay, I think that's what I'm trying to sum it up. If any distraction of harm, so if they are harmful with their words, obviously physical is but a lot of people will override the emotional and the verbal piece of it. That can be very distracting, demoralizing. Recently, not as of the time of this podcast recording, yesterday was our care group, and we had a whole lesson around everybody being made in the image and the likeness of God. Yeah. Anything that is attacking the image of God in you is a distraction worth cutting off.
Yes.
That's good.
And that could look so obviously physical, like if they're ever saying I wish your nose wasn't so big or whatever. Okay, that's obvious. But I'm even thinking man, you sure do laugh loud, or just little things that's you. You shouldn't ever change who you are, and then you should never feel the need to change. They are who they are, and if you don't like something about them, you don't like them enough.
Yeah. Don't conform to this person. Stay conformed.
Right.
Transform out of the renewing your mind.
Well, and that's the thing too. Is change is there's a huge, I guess, misconception within relationship that, well, if I could get together with them, maybe I could change them. No,
sure.
It just amplifies.
Yeah, your call and your responsibility in a relationship, specifically to marriage, is not to make them a different person.
Right.
It's to help lead them to be the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
Man, what a fun part one of today's episode on dating with Tommy and Kayla Berridge, hosts of the Marriage Momentum podcast. Link in the show notes below for that episode with them. Also, stay tuned for next week's episode with them, part 2. Gonna be great. We dive a little deeper on some dating when it comes to engagement, dating after engagement, stuff like that. Are they the one? We got to find out next time on The Gist. Check it out. Entertainment Challenge, the next generation. We love you guys. Bye.